Can you all see my screen? Vedete tutti lo schermo?
Sì?
Sì,
Okay, great. So, good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here today. This is the final work package and the final concluding event of the project Case di Micòl. The closing event is entitled Living Memories. This is just to remind everyone, this is a project funded by the European Union. And please note that the views and opinions expressed are, however, those of the authors, so they represent what we have been working on and do not necessarily reflect those of the European Union or the European Education and Culture Executive Agency. So neither the European Union nor the granting authority can be held responsible for them. So I just wanted to say buongiorno a tutti. Questo è l'evento finale, il nostro evento finale, per concludere il work package numero 6 per il progetto Le Case di Micòl. Questo è un progetto finanziato dall'Unione Europea ed è importante dire che il disclaimer di questo progetto è che tutte le opinioni sono nostri e non rappresentano quelli della Unione Europea. Oggi la giornata verrà strutturata in questa maniera. Prima di tutto faremo una piccola introduzione in generale, parleremo in generale di tutto ciò che è stato fatto, presenteremo project partner, presenteremo i timeline e work packages e poi ogni partner farà una piccola presentazione su ciò che è stato fatto e poi alla fine faremo la proiezione dei cortometraggi. So first off, we're going to start with the introduction, and then I'm going to be introducing briefly each and every partner involved in the project. After that, I'm going to be shedding light on the timeline of the project. And when I say timeline, I mean the way the various work packages were handled and not necessarily the deadlines of the deliverables, but simply the period that was dedicated to each and every work package. Shedding light also on the most important and significant activities in a very, very general way. After that, the partners are going to present the work that they did. And finally, we're going to be screening the short films. Okay. So first of all, this project that was funded by the European Union saw the participation of 4 main European countries. First is Italy, and so we have a list of Italian partners who work together with with the other European partners on achieving the work packages. Ferrara, la Città del Cinema, Blow Up Academy, the National Museum of Italian Judaism and the Shoah, Fondazione Giorgio Bassani, Istituto di Storia Contemporanea, Fondazione per il Centro Studi Città di Orvieto, Istituto Einaudi, which was our associate partner. And from Poland, we have Warsaw Film School, Prague Film School from the Czech Republic, and Academy for Cinema and Television ACT from Belgium. So starting off, the timeline, the project was divided into 6 main work packages. And each work package had a duration of several months. The first work package was the initial phase and the kickoff meeting that lasted from March 2024 to May 2024. During that phase, all partners met up in Ferrara, and so the meeting was held in situ, and it was attended by a total of 69 participants from 5 different countries. And it aimed to introduce the project, first of all, introduce the partners to each other, because before that moment, some of us hadn't met before. So it was an opportunity to get to know each other. And also it was an opportunity to share the main objectives of the project, the main deliverables, and the milestones. Also, a press conference was held in Ferrara in order to introduce the project partners to the general public. And special importance was given to the child protection policy, which was the foundation of the project on which we based most of our, or all of our activities. E quindi nella prima fase, che era stata da marzo a maggio 2024, abbiamo fatto il primo work package, che è stata la fase iniziale del progetto, in cui abbiamo organizzato il kick-off meeting a Ferrara con tutti i partner per introdurre il progetto, i suoi obiettivi, e deliverable e tutte le attività, e per parlare della Child Protection Policy, che poi è stata la base di questo progetto. Da aprile 24 a febbraio 26 abbiamo iniziato la seconda fase. From April 2024 to February 2026, we worked on the second work package 2, which involved the research, virtual map, and the book. So this work package was divided into several tasks, which culminated in the International Symposium and the research book. And we will tell you more about this as we move on. The first task included the identification of the houses of Micòl. This was a research that was done by ISCO, while the other partner countries relied on local experts to find and identify their own Micòls in each partner country. Based on this research, a map was created, a virtual map was created with the various locations of the houses of Micòl around Europe and in all partner countries. And this map was then embedded into the website, which is the official website of the project. And so you can also see this, and you will see it as we move on. We will show you a part of the page. And then, of course, an international symposium took place in Ferrara, and it aimed to share the research findings with an audience of 228 people from a total of 5 partner countries, and to demonstrate the houses of Micòl and their stories also. It was a very interesting moment in which we met the other Micòls, and we saw a lot of similarities, but also a lot of little differences between them. So the lead beneficiary of this work package was Fondazione CSCO, which also submitted a 150-page research book at the end of the project. And this research book summarizes the project deliverables, tasks, findings, results, and numbers. And also a big part of this research book will be introduced today. So that's concerning all the work done for work package 2. I must say that this part of the project was, let's say, the most significant for what came next, because also like the short film and all the other workshops and toolkits and everything were based on that research. So the research part was one of the most significant milestones in this project. Moving on to the third work package. Scusate se non traduco queste parti, perché dopo voi parlerete in italiano delle vostre task, quindi preferisco andare così per una questione di tempo. Excuse me if I don't translate this part to Italian, because later on I'll be translating from Italian to English all the details about the virtual map, the research book, and so on. So back to work package 3, which was let's say it took place from December 2024 to October 2025. And this page, this work package, was mainly focused on the filmmaking part, which was the most interesting part for the film schools, and the remembrance workshops in situ in all partner film schools. This work package, it consisted in various tasks centered around the research relevant to the filmmaking part of the project. A remembrance workshop was held in each and every partner country on different dates: December 9th, December 11th, December 12th, December 15th, 2024. In addition to raising awareness on the Holocaust, special importance was paid to the use of filmmaking to contribute to the concept of a conscious and democratic Europe. So the language of film in tackling historical stories and events, and also historical narratives. Each partner film school devised an educational path to demonstrate how the short film will be used to highlight the stories of the Micòls in different geographical areas in Europe during the same historical period. In this work package, 4 short films were produced by the 4 film schools: Blow Up Academy, Warsaw Film School, Prague Film School, and ACT. Approximately around 30 young people or young filmmakers and film students were involved in the making of the short films in all 4 countries. So it was also a great opportunity to involve young people who study film in this research and in the investigation of local stories. The various film crews involved young actors, cinematographers, screenwriters, and directors from each partner film school. So that's it concerning the 3rd work package. Moving on to the 4th one. And this is also a very, very interesting and loaded work package. It lasted from October 2024 to December 2025. The work package 4 was mainly centered around the creation of an educational toolkit by Istituto di Storia, ISCO, and the creation of the delegation of bearers of active remembrance, who were then delegated to participate at the final screening in Ferrara. In this phase of the project, ISCO published an educational toolkit with valuable guidelines on teaching young high school students about the Holocaust in the partner countries. The toolkit was used to train teachers and was adapted by them to raise awareness on the topic. Each teacher was left, of course, the freedom to decide how they wanted to use it, bearing in mind the differences in the historical context and the context of each high school. And so they were trained to use and implement this toolkit in their schools. After the training and after the courses that were held in the high schools, bearers of active remembrance were selected from each and every country to participate, as I said, in the final screening and debate in Ferrara. In addition to the final screening event, the delegation also participated in several workshops organized by the National Jewish Museum, the National Museum on Judaism and the Shoah, MACE, for young high school students. The workshops were attended by 206 young high schoolers from 4 partner countries. So I would say that was a great level of participation and involvement of high school students, even though they were not all able to come to Ferrara, because that would have been impossible. But some of them, and especially the delegation, were very, very excited to participate in this final closing event in Ferrara. Moving on to the 5th work package, which is Houses of Micòl Festival, the Bassani Congress, and the digital documentary and ebook. And in this work package, it was obviously divided. It lasted from August 2025 to February 2026. So also that was a very, very interesting, let's say a very loaded period, where a lot of partners were involved in working together to produce various deliverables. This work package was divided into 2 main interrelated events, I would say, that focus on history, film, and literature. They both took place in Ferrara and were attended by a total of 318 participants from 7 different countries. The first part was dedicated to the Congress that was organized by Fondazione Bassani, and it shed light on Giorgio Bassani's novel and Vittorio De Sica's film, The Garden of the Finzi Continis, by which the title of the project was inspired. It shed light on also the history of the city, the research that was done by Bassani, and of course Marcello will tell you more about it as we move on. On the other hand, the short films were screened in the final festival, and a debate by the delegation of the bearers of active remembrance took place. This event or this work package or provided an opportunity to highlight forms of activism against violence, including those of the arts, literature, and film. Moreover, it was a change, a chance, sorry, it was a chance to present the work done in each film and how it shaped the experiences of young people involved. Generally, the final festival also fostered relationships among partner schools because each partner school tackled the life of their Micòl from their perspective and from their viewpoint using diverse range of cinematic and artistic tools. And last but not least, the final phase or the final work package that lasted from March 2024, so from the beginning to the project until the very end, that was centered on communication, websites, blogs, and of course, this online closing event that we're doing right now. Prague Film School, with the support of all partners, drafted a communication strategy to share the most important project milestones with the general public. This included how the project was going to be communicated through social media, through websites, the creation of the blogs, also all the blog material that derived from the workshops that were held with the bearers of active remembrance. So in addition to regular social media posts and articles, the blog was created to document the work that was done within this project. And of course, an online closing event and screening is being held at the moment to share the final results of the project and what everyone worked on. The online closing event is attended by at least 350 people. From at least 4 different countries. Of course, the final statistics of this event will be shared at the conclusion, at the end of today's event. So I tried to be as brief as possible in this part, even though it doesn't seem so, but there was a lot was done and a lot was produced by each partner. So I really want to thank you for all the work that you did. It's been super valuable. And I also like how we were able to coordinate all the different stories, all the different narratives to create a whole, let's say, a final goal or a whole image in the end that has to do with like a full picture of the stories of the Micòls and all their experiences, even though they're different countries, but we were able to connect those stories together. So thank you for that. Now we have reached the second phase of today's presentation, which is the partner presentations. And I'm going to the order that you see here, it's based also on the timeline of the project, more or less, on who did what first. So I try to keep it this way in order to also give more sense to what's going to be presented. So we're going to start with ISCO. Iniziamo con la presentazione dell'Istituto di Storia con la dottoressa Anna Maria Quarzi. Che ci racconterà cosa è stato fatto in questo progetto e quali sono le cose più importanti che sono state realizzate con la ricerca per le case di Micòl. So now I'll leave the floor to Mrs. Anna Maria Quarzi.
Eccomi. Buongiorno a tutti e bentrovati. Per quanto riguarda l'Istituto di Storia Contemporanea, sono stati fatti 2 percorsi, uno di ricerca storica e di scelta delle varie, di 4 Micòl, come possiamo definire, 4 donne di religione ebraica, di età diverse, di appartenenza sociale diversa, proprio per vedere e dare un'idea proprio anche di rappresentazione della comunità ebraica del periodo delle leggi razziali e delle persecuzioni razziali. In particolare, il compito è stato affidato ad uno storico, un giovane storico, Pier Vittorio Milizia, che ha lavorato proprio sul concetto di due discipline, la storia e la cartografia. Perché dico questo? Per fare una riflessione multidisciplinare e per cercare di utilizzare una mappa proprio collocare queste eh, quattro donne scelte, collocarle in un territorio, in una città, in un momento storico. Ehm, quindi ha elaborato Pier Vittorio Milizia una ricerca molto interessante che si può assolutamente utilizzare e ha fatto, ripeto, un percorso molto particolare. Intanto, come uno degli obiettivi è stato anche proprio di far capire, di superare l'immagine della Shoah come un crimine esclusivamente tedesco, riconoscendone proprio la responsabilità collettiva europea, che secondo noi rientrava proprio in questo progetto. Quali sono le donne che sono state scelte? Ho detto quattro, una pediatra di una famiglia molto importante della città, Maria Zamorani, una insegnante, una maestra, Gina Finzi, poi che sposerà Scheneit, che insegnò dopo le leggi razziali presso la scuola ebraica, aveva insegnato anche prima, presso la scuola ebraica di Ferrara, una cosmopolita proprio, Ida Ascoli Magrini, di una importante famiglia ferrarese, e una bambina, quindi vedere i luoghi, le cose, la casa proprio, direi, anche con gli occhi di una bambina. Carla Neppi è ancora vivente ed è poi stata anche intervistata ed è proprio interessante vedere queste quattro donne, collocarle nel tempo e vedere il percorso. Per quanto riguarda Maria Zamorani, è una pediatra straordinaria che anche dopo le leggi razziali continuò a seguire i suoi piccoli pazienti fino ad arrivare poi ad essere arrestata e essere portata in uno dei famosi treni verso Auschwitz, da dove non è mai arrivata, morendo probabilmente nel viaggio. Gina Finzi Schneid aveva una vita diversa, la vita di Zamorani era proprio legata soprattutto alla sua professione, ripeto, di pediatra straordinaria. Gina Finzi Schneid, maestra, si occupava in particolar modo della sua famiglia, una donna era di una estrazione sociale, una piccola estrazione sociale, quindi una vita completamente diversa. Però fece un percorso e si può vedere proprio la vita della città e anche della comunità nei luoghi, negli oggetti, nelle cose appartenuti a Gina Finzi, che però arrestata fu poi portata al campo di concentramento femminile di Ravensbrück e riuscì a tornare. E infatti furono arrestati tutta la sua famiglia, lei, il marito, il figlio, ed è stata una delle famiglie, anzi probabilmente quasi unica, che tutti e tre sono riusciti a tornare dai campi. L'altro personaggio, ecco, anche lì c'è una visione cosmopolita anche della stessa comunità ebraica ferrarese, e Ida Ascoli, che i Dascoli, Bonfiglioli, tra l'altro il marito, un grandissimo intellettuale, un grandissimo bibliofilo. E questa è una famiglia molto abbiente. Ida ha una educazione europea perché viaggerà moltissimo, vive in Inghilterra, addirittura parteciperà a Wimbledon, quindi ad incontri di tennis, eh, un- una donna europea, proprio la definirei così, inserita in quella comunità di Ferrara, piccola ma estremamente vivace e interessante. L'altra, Carla Neppi, e invece era proprio una bimba a quel tempo, ma che dopo le leggi razziali subì l'allontanamento da scuola e con gli occhi di una bimba ci racconta proprio questa atmosfera che dopo il 1938, anno delle leggi razziali italiane, si proprio instaurò a Ferrara ed è molto interessante. Ripeto, gli sguardi di queste donne sono interessanti. La ricerca è stata diffusa, è stata presentata secondo, a mio avviso, ma secondo proprio, è una ricerca su cui ancora lavorare e può essere anche un punto di riferimento per quanto riguarda questo concetto proprio delle case di Micòl, ritrovare questi personaggi, queste protagoniste nella loro dimensione quotidiana. Credo che sia proprio stato questo la parte interessante. La seconda parte di cui l'istituto si è occupato e se ne è occupato il professor Giorgio Rizzoni è proprio il progetto didattico, come eh, poter insegnare, tra virgolette, insegnare il progetto importante delle case di Nicole. Questo progetto che parla di casa, quindi questo concetto importante di muri, stanze, odori, sapori, eh, quello che ricostruisce, ripeto, il concetto di casa. E questo è stato fatto attraverso una pluralità di fonti reperibili, di fonti reperibili, di alcune, come ho descritto prima della ricerca, delle tante Micol. La finalità importante del progetto didattico è stata un progetto che si può applicare nei vari luoghi, si può applicare a vari percorsi scolastici e, e soprattutto l'obiettivo principale era far conoscere in modo approfondito agli studenti le tematiche storiche relative all'applicazione delle leggi razziali nei vari paesi europei e acquisirne la consapevolezza delle dinamiche. Non sto a, sarebbe molto lungo spiegare tutti gli obiettivi del progetto, ma molto importante sono i quattro obiettivi: l'individuare le tracce su cui lavorare, interrogare le fonti, che sono importantissime chiaramente, organizzare le informazioni e creare anche un rapporto fra passato e presente. E soprattutto applicare in 10 punti, il professor Rizzoni ha elencato in 10 punti una specie di percorso scaletta della didattica della Shoah, perché il tema della Shoah è per una complessità di problemi storici e morali, presenta una complessità di problemi storici e morali, richiede un approccio educativo specifico e questo si è cercato, il professor Rizzoni ha cercato di evidenziare nel percorso. Mi fermo qui perché parlerei troppo, no?
Grazie, grazie Anna. Adesso ti traduco.
Sì, però ho parlato tanto, mi spiace.
No, 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 va benissimo, grazie mille. So I'm just going to briefly summarize what was said by Anna Maria Quarzi. Uh, the work that was done by Istituto di Storia mainly followed let's say, two main parts. The first part was historical research of the stories of the Micòls in Ferrara. Through the research that was done by Pier Vittorio Malizia, who was able to identify four different Micòls from four different age groups and also backgrounds. So this permitted us and like also the filmmaker later on to be able to choose and have like a variety of stories to build a short film on. The four women that were identified through the research are Maria Zamorani, Gina Finzi, Ida Ascoli, Magrini, and Carla Neppi. Carla Neppi was at the time of the racial laws a child, and so she lived through that period through her childhood memories. Her experience of home, of the house that she used to live in, was prior to the Holocaust, and so and that was also the focus of the short film that was done by Blow Up Academy. That's something I am saying, not that Anna Maria Quarzi said. So just to let you know that the film was based on that. The idea was, of course, to introduce those women as part of the history and the city itself, because very often when we think about the Holocaust, we think about other countries or other cities, but not Ferrara. But as a matter of fact, the idea of the whole project was to shed light on the European collective responsibility when it comes to what those people went through and what especially those women went through with regards to this project. Also, the research that was done is especially important because it can be further developed in the future. It's a very solid foundation that can be developed, it can be adapted into different stories, and that's concerning the first part. The second part that was done by Istituto di Storia is the educational toolkit and research related to teaching the Holocaust in different European contexts. This educational toolkit was devised by Professor Giorgio Rizzoni, who created a pathway to be followed and adapted by high school teachers to teach young people about the Holocaust, allow them to learn about racial laws in an interactive way. The professor is a specialist, an expert in teaching on the Holocaust in Italy. So that was a very also valuable input that was added to the project and to the high schools. Thank you, Anna Maria, grazie mille. Now moving on to Liliana Grasso from Fondazione CSCO. I think she told me she had a presentation to share. Is that right, Liliana? Okay, so I'm going to
Yeah.
interrupt the sharing of my PowerPoint so you can share yours. Can you see it? Can you share it, please? We can see
Okay.
it. Yes.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. The Fondazione per il Centro Studi Città di Oviedo was responsible for several key activities in the project. We worked on the project logo, on the development of the project platform, on virtual map, and on the evaluation of the project. In this presentation, we will focus on the evaluation results. Before starting, I would like to briefly introduce the project logo. The logo represents the main idea of the project. It includes an open door, which is symbol of welcome, a symbol of discovery. It also includes the letter M of Micòl, which refers to the novel by Giorgio Bassani. At the same time, it looks like a map marker, and inside it, there is a Star of David. This connects the idea of a journey with the theme of the Jewish identity. Let me remind you of the vision of the project. Le Case di Micòl was created to give new value to Jewish memory by an innovative approach. The idea is to make memory active, accessible, and participatory. So memory becomes a bridge between generations and between cultures. This approach focuses especially on young people. It helps them reflect on important topics such as the Holocaust, the fear of the diversity, and social exclusion. We use cinema as a main language because it is powerful and it is engaging. The project also involved international cooperation. Film schools from different countries worked together in a process of co-creation. This made the project more open, more European. The goal is to create a long-term impact. For the audience, this means building a new relationship with memory and with history. And for professional, for ours, it means new creative inspiration. All partners already had experience in film education and research, but in this project, these experiences were put together to create a stronger European framework. This helps generate innovation and generate lasting results. Cinema in this project becomes a key tool to teach memory in a new way, and also a tool for inclusion and participation. Now I would like to highlight two important aspects, the social innovation and the cultural innovation of the project. In terms of social innovation, the project involved different groups, young students, film students, and the second generation witnesses of the Holocaust. This creates a new way to transmit memory, especially today when direct witnesses are no longer present. The project helped transform knowledge of the past into awareness and responsibility in the present. And regarding cultural innovation, the project promotes cultural cooperation in Europe. It supports the creation of artistic works between different countries. Workshops and laboratories gave students the opportunity to create original works and to reflect on memory. It also supports the circulation of creative works, making cultural contact more accessible. For this reason, the Case di Micòl does not only preserve memory, but project it into the future. It helps new generations reflect, participate, and take responsibility. Now I would like to focus on the evaluation results. I would like to start with one key point. In this project, evaluation was part of the entire process. It was not just a formal requirement. We use both quantitative and qualitative data, and we focused not only on results, but also on processes. So for us, evaluation means learning and improvement. This approach helped us understand not only the results, but also how the activity worked in practice. It also helped us to improve the project during its development. If we look at the main outputs, we can say the project achieved all its objectives. We implemented 4 remembrance workshops, training for participants, 4 short film, 1 30-minute short film, 1 congress, 1 festival, the mapping of the Micòl houses, 2 project reports, educational toolkit, blog videos of active members, official web platform and social network account, and several related events. All these activities involve different types of participants, including students, teachers, and general public. They also combine education and cultural production. These results show a strong coherence between what we planned at the beginning and what we delivered. We also looked at the participation. We can see a good balance across different activities, including events, cultural products, and training. This means that the project was able to involve participants in different ways. So we can say there was a strong engagement across activities. This is important because it shows that the project was able to reach different audience and not only one type of participant. This slide shows participant satisfaction. This result is really important because satisfaction is a key indicator of quality. It showed that participants had a positive experience. More than 91% reported a high or very high level of satisfaction, and 78% are in the highest range. This means that the activity were not only appreciated, but also perceived as very high quality experiences. The slides show the quality of the content. More than 93% of participants rated the quality as high or very high, and 79% are in the highest range. This confirms a strong quality both in content and in communication. This also means that the contexts were clear and accessible, and at the same time, they kept a strong scientific value. Now we come to the most important result, the impact. More than 91% of participants reported a strong impact of their personal and civic growth. And most of them are in the highest range. This shows that the project had a real impact on awareness and civic responsibility. This is particularly relevant for young participants because it supports their personal development and their role as active citizens. This slide shows the impact of awareness of memory. Almost 88% of participants reported a strong impact. This means that the project helped participants understand the value of memory in present. This is very important in today's context where memory helps us understand current challenges and reflect on our values. This is why we consider this project not only as a set of activity, but as a model can be used in other contexts. This is the core of the project. Memory is not only something to preserve, but something to activate in the present. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Liliana. That was very insightful. Thank you. Okay. So now we're going to tell you a little bit more about what we did with Blow Up Academy and Istituto Einaudi, our associate partner and high school, who have organized all the workshops with the high school students in Ferrara. So first of all, with Blow Up Academy, we worked on the production of the short films. And today I have with me Filippo Romanelli, who is the director of the short film that was made on the life of, on the childhood of Carlo Neppi. You'll tell us more about it. And also there's Damiano Ragni from Blow Up Academy. He's a student of the second year directing course who produced a 30-minute documentary about the project. So they're both going to be telling you exactly how they worked and how they made those films. So let's start with Filippo Romanelli. I'm going to move slightly to, excuse me, Damiano. There you go.
Hi everyone. So for our short movie, as you listened before with Anna and now with Isra, we tell the story of Carla Neppi Sadom, and we choose to tell her story during the war when she was a child. The title of our documentary is The Voice in the Wind. And of course, the voice is the voice of Carla. We had the privilege and the honor to interview her many months ago for like 3 hours straight, and she tell us her entire life, not only the life during the war when she was a child, but her entire life. To this day. So it was for me a very special moment to share this interview with her because she is 94 years old, but she is still very profound, very strong. So she tells us with sincerity all of his thoughts and all of his life for, as I say, 3 hours straight. And it was then challenging for me try to choose what moment use for the short movie, because of course she tell us a lot of incredible moments of her life. So this was for me the first big challenge because this is my first documentary as a director. But we find a way through her stories to this, of course, voice that is her voice, and we choose to tell two different stories. Her story with the interview and a parallel story that is much more fiction and a very much work with the cinematography with a young lady that is a student of our school that travel along this location to try to find and follow this voice that is the voice of course, Carla. We collaborate with many students of our school that help us to do the cinematography, the scenography, the editing, the sound design. For of course, for me, this was a very special moment because I also a teacher in this school, so it was very important for me see our students work on this type of project. And I think we achieved something very special. And the day of the presentation, it was the final and most special moment for me because we had the chance to share all our short movie of all the other school that they are, of course, incredible works. Thanks everyone, of course, for the opportunity and for sharing this work.
Thank you, Filippo. Thank you. And now I'll leave the floor to Damiano Ranghi, who worked on a 30-minute documentary of the whole project.
Yes, hello everyone. I was the director, of course, of this 30 minutes documentary that I did for the final events of the Case di Micòl, and that you can see on the website. I took the opportunity right away when my professor called me because I thought that was really important, something really important for me, a big opportunity, of course, for a cinema student like me, and I was very euphoric. So I took this challenge with seriousness, but also with a lot of euphoria. And I started right away thinking about the style I would like to give to this documentary, and of course what I had to record, what I had to record in order to create this documentary. I contacted two of my schoolmates that I really trusted, and together we are in the same year, Alessandra and Simone, and we started organizing everything, thinking about every aspect of this documentary. It was really a formative experience, and professionally also really important, and it was also really fun. The style we settled for was a style very based on sound and time, the concept of time, creating a very ethereal effect, but also especially concrete, that we thought was coherent with the concept of memory. And with that, when we got to record the events, the conferences, the workshop at Mace with the bearers of remembrance, we sort of went also in like a flow state, capturing every moment, every single thing that the experts and the professors said. And so we got to record really a lot of footage. So in the editing, for me, I did all the editing was a big challenge because there was a really lot of footage, and but it was also fun and also really formative, as I said. And yeah, I feel like I grew really so much, and it was also a fun experience. So I'm really thankful for this opportunity.
Thank you, Damiano. Thank you so much. So with Blow Up Academy, we also worked on the educational paths with Istituto Einaudi. So as soon as we received the toolkit from ISCO, I personally met up with Professor Michele Ronchi Stefanati from Istituto Einaudi in order to discuss how this toolkit was going to be adapted within the high school. And so we initially had a meeting together in which I presented the toolkit and the work that was done by ISCO. He was super excited and immediately embraced the idea of teaching that toolkit and adapted it. Of course, he was also given the freedom to decide which parts to pick and how to adapt this and customize it based on the groups that he had in high school. So he worked together with another high school teacher who is Eleonora Bentivoglio. And they taught 2 classes that were super interested. They were so interested that they even had their own troupe. They created like a small troupe within each class to document the high school courses, to edit it, to write blog posts about it. So it was very interactive on so many levels. And then a delegation of bearers of active remembrance was selected to participate at the final screening that took place in Ferrara with the final debate, in which all international partners participated. And so they worked, this same delegation worked on the educational pathway by like watching movies, writing, reflecting on content in the classroom, but they also brought this reflection to the final festival and also to the workshops that were organized by MACE. So I would say that's pretty much very briefly what was done with Blow Up Academy and Istituto Einaudi. Now I'm going to move on to Warsaw Film School, Piotr Groszinski, who's going to tell us more about what was done with his film school.
Hello, I will try to keep it even shorter than you guys did. And if it's not in order, then forgive me. First and foremost, we started out also with looking for a Micòl. Our first thought was to go to Poland. This is the Museum of Polish Jews, of the history of Polish Jews. But sometimes it's easier to look a little bit closer to home because we kept this project completely in our schools. We have a high school and a film school because when it came to finding our heroine, we have a lecturer, Andrzej Wolf, who's been with the school since the beginning, and his grandmother was of Jewish descent. So we took his grandmother as our heroine, which made it also more personal for us because everybody who worked on this project, from the high schoolers to the film students, they all know Andrzej Wolf. They all had classes with him. And this became more a little bit like we can call it a little bit of a family affair because our film, which is called Leonora, this is the name of our heroine, was directed by 2 of his previous students, one of whom was Jędrzej Gorski, who first went to our high school, our film high school, and then went on to our film school and now is a lecturer at our film school. So he's, you can say, homegrown completely. And he co-directed it with Mateusz Motyka, who is also one of our previous students and also is now a lecturer at our school. And with this story, we tried to concentrate more on a very universal topic, and this is the topic of forbidden love. Because our heroine had a pretty interesting story as a young woman where she more or less left her home for love and went from Poland to Paris to live there for a long time. And this project brought together the high schoolers and film students because before this project, of course, was made, we had a meeting with our film students where we talked about this project and also invited them to take part. So 90% of the crew which helped out on this project were from our film school. And together they created something that is documentary which goes a little bit more into the realm of feature films, where we tried to, in Polish you call it dokument kreacyjny. This means we are creating. It's like a documentary which is in the style, you could say, a little bit of Dogville, where it's very sparse, but it concentrates on what's most important, and is the connection between humans. When it comes to our high schoolers, we had, of course, like Isra already mentioned, the package, the educational package that was created, and we used this package for our class with the high schoolers. what was very interesting was how interested they were in the topic, because they, of course, know a lot about what happened in the past, but still it was interesting to see how it still is something that kept them engaged. And from this group, we chose also 2 students who then later on became bearers of remembrance and went to the final meeting in Ferrara, where they took part in the discussion and also in the activities beforehand. And what was the most interesting thing about this was when they came back, and that they didn't treat it as, let's say, a short vacation, but that they came back with a lot of ideas how they wanted to incorporate this also into school, because they found certain informations which they didn't know, of course. And this inspired them to bring this to the students. So this bearers of remembrance worked perfectly in this sense, that it's something that interested them for longer than just, as you can imagine, like with young people, for a short amount of time, because the concentration span is a little bit shorter than it used to be. And you can see the importance of it, especially also with what's going on right now in the world. And here, one more thing, because like I said, I will keep it just really brief. The interesting thing for us was how over the 2 years that this project took place, it evolved, and also how it became a little bit part of the curriculum at our schools. Because students who heard about this project when they were in the 2nd year worked on this project when they were in the 3rd year. And in this way, it became like a pretty big part also of their film education, not only. So this is like what I would say is the most interesting thing about this project, where it took something that is an important topic, but also transformed it into something that could become, in my opinion, something that can be done also in the future, where it can be part of a curriculum that is not only going about film language and the normal stuff that you do, but also like a little bit more about human. We in Poland, we call it, because forgive me, I don't know what it's in English, wiedza humanistyczna. This is like, wiedza humanistyczna would be something like knowledge about humans, if you translate it word for word, but it's more about the connection of people and emotions. So this is to keep it really, really brief.
Thank you, Piotr. I think I know exactly what you mean, even though I don't speak Polish, because
Exactly.
it's about this, and the fact that so many young people were involved from the film schools, and they started reflecting and creating, using art and cinema to reflect on history and to find tools to express that. I think that is the most important, one of the most important things in this project. Okay. Thank you. So now we're going to hear from Tarek from Prague Film School, who's going to tell us all about what was done in the film school, and also by everyone who participated in the project.
Okay, so thank you, Isra. And first of all, a very special compliments to you for the patience and grace that you've had with all of us. You've done an amazing job, and it's been a pleasure working with all our colleagues. And I have seen the films already, and they're really quite remarkable. Maybe I'll start with something general, and that is, I guess the mission of this whole project was to explore how memory and media can be used to oppose tyranny, bigotry, and injustice, particularly with reference to Europe in the 1930s and 40s. And very interestingly, in the recent times, I think there's almost no period in recent history that can be as similar as to the environment in that period in Europe. Right now, we're living through a period characterized by social Darwinism once again, a political instinct, which is a me want, me take, a normalization of mass murder in the service of territorial grabs and ideology. So it makes this project a little bit less academic and a little bit more tangible and real and relevant. And so I think all of us can be happy that we're participating in something like this in the times that we find ourselves right now. To speak now concretely about our school and how we participated in the project. We were responsible from the very beginning to set up the social media. All of our partners also organize a remembrance workshop, participate in various remembrance workshops, seminars, and activities, produce a documentary, and also participate in the closing event, plus seminars and other events related to the project. With regards to the social media project, Prague Film School established an official Instagram and Facebook channel. We created digital presence to share project activities, outputs, and engagement. We supported the visibility and dissemination of project results, so that actually even after the end of the project, the products of what we did will still be able to be visible for some time on social media. We as our partners did, we also organized a remembrance workshop where we used film as a tool for human rights and memory preservation. In this workshop, we focused on the Holocaust, and we focused on issues of social marginalization. We explored ethical and technical aspects of filmmaking, also as well to make it more relevant for our film students, involving interviewing techniques, research, audience awareness, and then we also connected the subject of the Holocaust with other historical events, including Arab Spring, and we screened one film on Congo violence. It was very gratifying to engage our students from our school, because this was a project where the audience was constituted by Prague Film School students who, for the record, are university age students or post-university age students from all over the world. We also participated then in the various remembrance workshops, where we cooperated both with teachers and students from other schools here in Prague. We cooperated with actually a German high school, where we instructed critical things like critical source analysis, propaganda and prejudice, anti-Semitism and discrimination in today's context. What was really interesting to note is that the demographic of high school students proved particularly fertile in terms of how the information resonated with them and the receptivity. And so a takeaway could be that this type of project, these type of activities are very appropriate for high school age students. I found the reception much more pronounced among the high school students than the older students at our school. Of course, then we also, like our fellow partners, produced a documentary, and we tried our hardest to find protagonists that embodied a very similar predicament and life situation as the protagonist of the Giardini dei Finzi Contini, i.e. a person who lived an idyllic life, was well embedded with the intelligentsia in the community, but who with the Holocaust, that life was upturned. Our protagonist, Pavla Kovichkova, she was from a very prominent Jewish family here in Prague. They were on first name basis with all the leading artists and intellectuals of the time. Tchaikovsky, when he would visit the Prague and the region, he would actually stay at their house. So that's an example of how deeply embedded and involved they were in Prague's cultural scene. the idea was then to find somebody who very similar to the protagonist in the book, who that lent the name to the project, to find somebody similar to that and mirror that situation, which I think we did. We also then were very pleased to participate in the closing event. We sent a delegation of staff, one of our professors who led the Bearers of Remembrance workshops, and one of the participants in the workshop. We sent them to Ferrara to participate in the events at the closing event in Ferrara. They came back thrilled by it, and they came back with glowing tales of the other films they saw, which I saw myself, and feel similarly to a really amazing job to our partners with the films that have been made with such real creativity and originality. And I look forward to seeing them again at the screening that we'll be seeing very soon. Anyways, it's been a pleasure to be involved with all of you. Very congratulations to particularly our Italian partners for being so competent in orchestrating and guiding everything, and also providing such the technical core of the project. So complimenti a voi.
Grazie. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot, Tarek. That was very, very interesting, and I'm glad your students enjoyed working on the project so much. So now moving on to ACT, Academy for Cinema and Television. And today it is represented by Suad Azzouzi, who worked with us throughout the project, and she was also the main director of their short film. Suad.
Hi. Yes, thank you. Normally it was Abbas's had to present the project, but right now it's me, so I'm gonna be short. First of all, Abbas asked to Evelyn, is one of the students of the school, to make this project, and she did it because her father was a rabbi, and so she went to the synagogue with her father, and they find a woman, Regina Slutsky, who was a child of parents who lived through the Holocaust, all this war thing. And in the end of the day, she met Regina. She talked with her, and she agreed to participate to this beautiful project. But at the end of the day, Evelyn, our student, went to Israel and stayed there. So Abbas asked me to take over, and I'm from another religion, so it's really beautiful because it's completely the opposite. So I'm like sharing something that I think that there is no religion to go through fear or tears or cruelty. So I think we are all human beings first of all. So that's why it was really nice for me to take over this project and to represent it. And in the end of the day, so I work with my colleagues, with my students' colleagues, and we agreed to have all of our tasks, and I was the one who write the stories. I talked with Regina, the daughter of the parents who went through all these troubles, and so yeah, it was my first time directing a project, so it was something ritual, and it was first time, so it was really I was really involved in this project because it was like my life was depending on it, because I was like, it's something new, it's my first project, it's something ritual, it's something that that a lot of people know in the whole world. It's not something only in Belgium, so I think it's always great to make researches and everything. So in the end of the day, so I went to archives in Belgium. We have the chance to find archives, old pictures, and we have it all for free. So it's really nice to have them all and to share them. And we went to the places too. We have the chance to have streets and places in Belgium where the Holocaust was there, and where all the people, the Jewish people, met all the troubles in Antwerp. It's one of the big cities in Belgium. So we had the chance to be there, and we felt kind of something like a vibe, like you know, when you remember all these people, you see the pictures, you see the streets in real life, and you can compare them. So it was really, really richful and a lot of feelings and emotions. So it was nice. We were all together, and we shared all the same emotion. We were there like it was our own fathers or grandfather that was there, so it was really richful. That was the main emotion that we all felt all together. And so yeah, we met Regina. We talked with her. She agreed to share all her stories. So it was nice for her to cooperate and to participate in this beautiful project. And she was really involved too. And she was showing all the pictures, all the things that she had from her parents. And it was really nice to see that it's like we were really living the moment at this time. So it was really great because at this time we were all together, but it was like that it was not like a job. It was not this project. And so yeah, when I write the story, we find the people, the cameraman, the students that want to participate in the project too, to be filmed as actors. And everybody immediately participate without thinking. It was like something really natural. And yes, in the end of the day, so we find everything went really smooth. Dates, places, everything was really nice. So it was really easy for us to realize this project. And so yes, when we filmed it, in the same moment, some people had some tears because of the stories. It was really beautiful. The emotions were beautiful. And yes, and it's also something that we all remind that nobody deserves to go through all these cruelties, whatever your religion, your race, your whatever your color. So it's something beautiful because in Belgium, especially Brussels, the main capital, there is a lot of multicultural people, especially Arab people. We have Italians. It's really rich in culture. So the beautiful thing in Brussels and Antwerp is that we living all together. We no problems, and we are all sharing all the same streets. And when you can compare from now and before in the time, you realize that we are really lucky to live in this moment. So yeah, it was really richful. I remember all the beautiful time together, and in the end of the day, we were filming in Antwerp, the Central Park, and there is it's an important park from the Jewish people. So I remember when I was filming there with my crew, a lot of Jewish people came to us, and they were like, "Oh, you're Jews," because we had like the kippah, the guys who were actors, and we are sharing the stories together. So I think we all learned a lot of things in this beautiful thing, and especially when they met me, they were like, "Oh, you're not Jew," and they were like talking to me like we're like families, and it was really beautiful. So we had a beautiful, beautiful moment at this time too. And then yes, so the thing is, the main goal and the main lesson that we learned is that we are all humans. We are all sharing emotions, and the most beautiful thing is to be true and to be us, and to accept what the other one is. And so I think a lot of students learned a lot of things in this project. So we're happy. We were really, really happy to have made this project.
Thank you, Suad. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing that experience and also highlighting the importance of the emotional involvement in this, because I think without being emotionally involved, it's very hard and very difficult to transmit emotions if you don't feel those emotions yourself. So thank you so much. Okay, so after highlighting the most important points that were achieved by the film schools, we're going to move on to Raquel Silvera from MACE, who will be highlighting in Italian, and I will be translating you, Raquel, briefly, of course. He's going to be presenting the workshops that were organized by MACE in MACE for the high school students from the different high schools in Ferrara and the bearers of active remembrance. Prego.
Grazie mille Isra. Spero che non si blocchi perché ogni tanto ti sentivo bloccata e temo sia colpa mia. Allora, sarò molto rapida. Noi del MEIS siamo intervenuti nella parte quasi conclusiva del progetto e abbiamo tenuto dei workshop che si sono tenuti al museo dal 2 al 4 dicembre dello scorso anno. Abbiamo avuto due percorsi differenti, uno indirizzato agli studenti delle scuole di Ferrara e uno invece indirizzato agli alfieri della memoria. Il primo, quello dedicato alle scuole di Ferrara, diciamo che ci ha colpiti moltissimo fin dall'inizio perché appena abbiamo aperto una call aperta alle scuole che dava questa possibilità di partecipare a questi laboratori, abbiamo immediatamente avuto una risposta straordinaria da parte sia dei docenti che degli insegnanti, tant'è che abbiamo coperto sia gli istituti professionali che i licei. Abbiamo avuto due classi dell'Istituto Einaudi, una classe del Bachelet, due classi del liceo scientifico Roiti e una classe del liceo classico Ariosto. Inizialmente, tra l'altro, i posti erano di meno, ma vista la grande richiesta abbiamo deciso di comune accordo di fare dei workshop in più. Per questi ragazzi è stato previsto un percorso di 2 ore messo a punto dalla nostra responsabile dei servizi educativi e studiato proprio per raggiungere e approfondire gli obiettivi del progetto delle case di Micòl. L'idea era quella di rispondere alla domanda: come può un museo intervenire e dare degli strumenti in più, e quindi come può raccontare i luoghi, le vite, gli oggetti che appartengono a delle persone. In questo modo abbiamo fatto un workshop che si articolava in 3 momenti specifici, tutti collegati tra di loro. Si iniziava facendo visita alla mostra 1938 L'umanità negata, che è una nostra mostra permanente dedicata all'impatto delle leggi razziali, quindi come è cambiata la vita degli ebrei italiani quando i diritti vengono progressivamente negati e la vita in qualche modo si restringe, la libertà del singolo si restringe. Dopo aver visto questa mostra e quindi anche com'è il modo, le modalità del museo di raccontare l'impatto di questo evento storico che è stato cruciale nella vita degli ebrei italiani, si è andato a raccontare la vita di 2 donne eh, che hanno avuto 2 storie diverse, ossia Silva Sabadini e Lionella Neppi Modona. Perché 2 storie diverse? Perché Silva Sabadini venne deportata ad Auschwitz con sua madre e tutte e due riuscirono miracolosamente a salvarsi, mentre Lionella Neppi Modona, nonostante la persecuzione, riuscì a nascondersi con la sua famiglia e a sfuggire alla deportazione. Le 2 storie sono state raccontate da 2 oggetti appartenuti alle 2 donne molto significativi per loro e che sono stati donati al museo. Per quanto riguarda Silva Sabadini, una tazza, che non è una tazza qualsiasi, a vederla sembra semplicemente una tazza appartenuta a una ragazzina, a una bambina. Questa tazza le è stata donata dalla madre appena è stato liberato il campo di Auschwitz. Come sapete, agli ebrei che arrivavano nei campi veniva tolto qualsiasi oggetto che avevano con loro, che veniva immagazzinato. La madre di Silva, una volta appunto liberato il campo, entra in questo magazzino, trova questa tazza abbandonata e decide di donarla alla figlia Silva. Questa tazza non sappiamo in realtà a chi apparteneva, probabilmente a una ragazza proveniente da un'altra parte dell'Europa della stessa età di Silva. E è molto significativa perché poi questa tazza Silva la terrà per tutta la vita con sé, perché, come disse lei in un'intervista, le ricordava la mamma. Ed è stato, diciamo, il momento del ritorno alla normalità anche delle relazioni, cioè la possibilità di una madre di fare un regalo alla figlia, cosa che in quegli anni ovviamente era impossibile. L'altro oggetto è una valigia, la valigia che ci è stata donata appunto da Lionella Neppi Modona e che rappresenta un po' appunto il tema della fuga, il tema di, dopo le leggi razziali, l'inizio della persecuzione, di sradicarsi per riuscire, lasciare ovviamente la propria casa, i propri oggetti, i propri ricordi, per riuscire appunto a sfuggire alla morte certa. La terza fase di questo workshop si è concluso con un laboratorio che al MES abbiamo da 2 anni e che sta dando dei risultati molto belli, dedicato alle storie di donne. Sono 5 storie di donne, non tutte ebree, che ovviamente hanno intrecciato un rapporto particolare con la casa e con le cose e che vengono, diciamo, queste storie vengono fatte emergere dal lavoro dei ragazzi attraverso 5 fascicoli che vengono dati ai gruppi di ragazzi, ognuno dedicato a una donna, e attraverso un insieme eterogeneo di documenti che possono essere appunto documenti anagrafici, articoli di giornale, link che rimandano a dei video, degli approfondimenti, degli audio, ricostruiscono le storie. Le 5 donne che vengono raccontate in questo laboratorio sono Vera Vigevan Yara, anche lei tra l'altro da poco mancata, che fuggirà in Argentina per sfuggire alla deportazione, Malala Yousafzai, Natalia Ginsburg, altra appunto grandissima testimone, oltre che scrittrice della persecuzione degli ebrei durante la Shoah, Maddalena Cerasuolo, la partigiana, e Franca Viola. Quindi 5 storie molto diverse, ma in realtà collegate tra di loro, che i ragazzi hanno potuto fare emergere lavorando direttamente sui documenti, quindi diventando effettivamente storici, cosa che è stata molto importante in questo percorso, dare la possibilità di capire come fare una ricerca storica e come fare emergere le informazioni e far parlare i documenti. L'altro percorso invece è stato quello riservato agli alfieri della memoria, che si è svolto interamente in lingua inglese e che ha previsto una prima visita al nostro percorso permanente Ebrei, una storia italiana, fatto dal direttore Amedeo Spagnoletto. L'idea era quella di dare gli strumenti per capire chi fossero gli ebrei prima della persecuzione e non rendere, diciamo, l'identità ebraica sovrapponibile al 100% solo sulla deportazione, quindi su qualcosa che è stato subito, ma a livello identitario chi erano gli ebrei italiani, chi sono gli ebrei italiani soprattutto, com'è l'interazione con il resto della società, come si è sviluppata la storia e la presenza nel luogo, come cambia anche la vita nelle case. Noi sappiamo ovviamente che un fattore importantissimo è stato la vita prima nei ghetti e poi dopo con l'apertura dei ghetti e l'inserimento nella società, cosa che ovviamente aveva un impatto anche sulle abitazioni stesse e su come erano localizzate queste abitazioni. Dopo questa visita alla mostra permanente ci si è spostati alla mostra temporanea che abbiamo attualmente, dedicata anche questa ai luoghi, i luoghi dell'Italia ebraica tra gli anni 20 e gli anni 30, che vengono raccontati attraverso degli scatti d'epoca che sono stati mostrati e che raccontano tantissimi luoghi dell'Italia ebraica, sia luoghi dove si sa che sono sempre stati gli ebrei, sia dei luoghi che possono darci delle informazioni in più perché inaspettati. Infine, il percorso, diciamo, per gli alfieri si è spostato fuori in città con una visita guidata dedicata alla Ferrara ebraica, il periodo del ghetto, il periodo poi successivo della persecuzione. Quindi l'idea è stata raccontare queste case di Micòl progressivamente a partire dal museo, ma uscendo poi fuori e andando in città. E oltre quello anche cosa c'era dentro queste case, ossia gli oggetti, cosa che per noi, essendo un museo, è fondamentale perché il nostro obiettivo per l'appunto è quello di riuscire a tirar fuori delle storie dagli oggetti. Grazie mille.
Thank you. Grazie mille, Raquel. Thank you so much. I'm going to translate very briefly everything you said, hoping to cover all the precious information you shared, because I think that the work that was done with Mace and the high school students and the young students was very hands-on, first of all, and related to the history of Ferrara, related to the history of Jewish people from Ferrara, but also Italian Jews in general. So there were two main projects that Mace worked on. The first one was with public high schools, and the second one was with bearers of active remembrance who joined us in Ferrara, in addition to the delegation of bearers that was selected from Istituto Einaudi. So the first question that they posed was how a museum can narrate stories and how a museum can narrate the lives of people through objects, through documents, and through everything that usually is present in a museum. So they organized guided visits of the permanent exhibitions that they have in Mace. And one of the permanent exhibitions explores the impact of racial laws on the lives of Jewish Italians. They also studied two very special figures or women, Sylvia and Yonella. I'm sorry, I missed the last names, using two very special objects that those women had. The first object was a cup, and they were trying to attribute meaning, significance, value to this object, since the object, a cup, was given to Silva by her mother after the Holocaust, and also a suitcase which represents the uprooting of women from their homes, from their cities. And those two objects were analyzed, they were studied. Students had an opportunity to reflect on what they actually could have meant and what they could mean for women in that area, era or in that period. The third phase, it was dedicated to stories, life stories of women, various women. They studied and analyzed documents, articles, videos, and they tried to build on life stories based on the material that was available. And so the aim was to help students understand how to research, how to find information, what to do with documents. And so, yes, using various approaches guided by experts from the museum. Also, there was a very important theme that was highlighted, especially with the bearers of active remembrance, on the idea of moving from a ghetto to normal life, how Jewish Italians were, how they were located in Italy, and how they were able to be inserted into this, integrated into this normal life after having experienced ghettos. And so finally, a guided visit of the Ferrara ghetto and city center was organized with the bearers, in which they had the opportunity to look at houses, locations, and streets where Italian Jews used to live. So thank you very much, Raquel. And now, finally, last but not least, we are moving on to Fondazione Giorgio Bassani, who held a 4-hour congress in Ferrara with various experts. So Marcello Azzi will tell us more about this now. Prego, Marcello.
Grazie, mi sentite bene? Spero di sì perché ho avuto inizialmente dei
Yes,
problemi.
we can hear you.
Bene,
Ti
benissimo.
sentiamo, se ci sono problemi, puoi togliere il video a un certo punto, se ci sono.
No, per il momento direi che mi vedete e mi
Sì,
sentite,
sì, sì, ti
quindi
vediamo, ti sentiamo. Vai.
benissimo. Dunque, io devo dire che siamo tutti molto contenti per come si è svolto il convegno internazionale dedicato al rapporto fra letteratura e cinema. È stato un successo perché comunque è stato molto apprezzato, è stato ben organizzato, direi. Eh, I relatori che hanno partecipato a questa giornata sono alcuni dei più noti studiosi dell'opera di Giorgio Bassani e del rapporto con ovviamente l'arte della cinematografia. Vi riporto solamente che è appena stato recentemente pubblicato questo volume che contiene 4 trattamenti inediti scritti da Bassani insieme a Cazzorzi, Frassinetti, Musso, Pasolini, Soldati, eccetera. Quindi questo ovviamente conferma l'interesse per il rapporto che Bassani ha avuto con il cinema. In particolare, questo libro è stato curato da una delle partecipanti al convegno internazionale, cioè Brigitta Loconte, che è, si può dire, forse la massima esperta di questo, di questo settore, diciamo, dell'opera di Bassani, che è ancora tutto da scoprire. Infatti vengono fuori molti inediti. Il convegno ha avuto questa importanza, cioè quella di dare degli strumenti per avviare anche in parte gli studi legati al rapporto che Bassani ha avuto con il cinema e di come le sue opere poi sono diventate dei film apprezzati, film premiati, come ricordiamo Il Giardino dei Finzi-Contini, che a Bassani non piacque particolarmente, tanto che arrivò a denunciare De Sica, a denunciare la casa di produzione e in parte ad allontanarsi dall'adattamento cinematografico. Comunque la scrittura per il cinema per lui è stata fondamentale per imparare a utilizzare determinate immagini, determinate situazioni che poi lui ovviamente ha utilizzato nei suoi romanzi, nei suoi libri. Questo questo diciamo che è un punto fondamentale. Al convegno hanno partecipato, oltre appunto a Brigitta Loconte, che è, ripeto, la massima forse esperta di questo rapporto di Bassani con il cinema, Sergio Parussa, che è uno studioso che da molti anni vive e insegna negli Stati Uniti al Wesley College, e Sergio Parussa attualmente sta curando l'edizione critica del Giardino dei Finzi e Contini, quindi un'edizione diciamo che tiene presente delle varianti dei testi analizza ovviamente il manoscritto che è custodito a Ferrara, così come anche gli interventi. L'intervento mio, l'intervento di Gaia Litrico, l'intervento di Martina Piperno, che ci ha parlato invece di questo sospetto caso di plagio, cioè appunto che ovviamente lei l'ha detto meglio di me, però quello che lei ha cercato di sostenere, che poi in parte cosa sulla quale era d'accordo anche Bassani, pare che Visconti abbia, diciamo così, in vaghe stelle dell'orsa, abbia utilizzato, diciamo, parzialmente la trama del giardino per costruire il suo film. Ecco, la stessa, la stessa idea del plagio era un po' quella anche dello stesso Giardino dei Finzi e Contini, cioè un utilizzo improprio, ecco, in quel caso di una materia che però era molto diversa rispetto a poi quella che è stata realizzata nell'adattamento cinematografico. Quindi Bassani era molto critico su questo, lo è stato anche su La lunga notte del 43 di Vancini, lo è stato anche negli Occhiali d'Oro di Giuliano Montaldo, il film con Philippe Noiret e Rupert Everett, grande film, ma comunque che lui insomma in sostanza non era mai soddisfatto del prodotto cinematografico. Detto questo, io e Gaia abbiamo nei nostri interventi, tutti gli interventi del convegno sono stati riuniti in questo file in PDF che abbiamo caricato. Diciamo che è venuto fuori un bel volume con molti scritti interessanti, molti saggi. Io ho cercato, in quello che ho scritto, di parlare delle topografie bassaniane, cioè di come lui ha creato questo giardino e come ha di fatto creato il personaggio di Micòl, che lo sappiamo, non è mai esistito, non c'è una Micòl. Micòl è una, nessuna e centomila. È l'insieme ovviamente di più donne che lui ha amato nella sua vita, in gioventù e anche da adulto, ma al tempo stesso Micòl è un personaggio che racchiude in sé tutta una serie di valori, tutta una serie di, di aspetti che in parte sono il riflesso di chi scrive, quindi di se stesso, e al tempo stesso è un personaggio che è utile per capire la storia, per capire un pezzo di storia. Nel caso di Micòl, Micòl è una donna, come avrete capito, moderna, è una donna che pensa al futuro, a differenza di tutti gli altri che si arrendono alla storia, al loro destino, no? Ai campi di concentramento. Lei è l'unico personaggio, si può dire, positivo, no? Del romanzo. Ecco, allora noi abbiamo cercato ovviamente di capire da ogni lato tutto quello che si poteva capire, cioè come Bassani è arrivato alla creazione di questo giardino, perché ha utilizzato come palcoscenico Ferrara e proprio quel pezzo di Ferrara, come ha costruito il personaggio di Micòl e come tutto questo poi si è diciamo, declinato nel romanzo e ovviamente nell'adattamento cinematografico del romanzo, tenendo sempre presente però i rapporti che Bassani ha avuto nella- nell'ambiente del cinema fra gli anni 50 e gli anni 60, la collaborazione con soldati, con Pasolini, insomma, di cose ne ha fatte tante. Questo volume che vi ho fatto vedere ovviamente conferma ulteriormente il suo grande lavoro anche di scrittura per il cinema. Il bilancio comunque direi che è più che positivo, ha aperto sicuramente, ha avviato, ripeto, e aperto molte prospettive e io direi che il progetto, per quel che riguarda la nostra parte, ma da quello che ho sentito da tutti voi, diciamo che il progetto è riuscito molto meglio rispetto alle aspettative, secondo me. Quindi sono molto contento con me Gaia, che non può essere qua oggi, e con noi anche Paola Bassani, figlia di Giorgio Bassani e presidente della nostra fondazione, che vi ringrazia tutti per il lavoro che avete condotto così scrupolosamente, così attentamente e anche con così tanta passione e partecipazione. Grazie.
Grazie mille, Marcello. Thank you so much. So what Fondazione Bassani did was to organize a congress inviting 3 experts that focused on the relationship between Bassani, the author of The Gardens of the Finzi Contini, and cinema. As we all know, he didn't have a very positive reaction to the way his books were presented in cinema. And so we tried to analyze how he utilized writing for cinema, and contrary to what was done, what was actually done in the films. The experts who were invited, they worked and still work on the literary productions of Giorgio Bassani, so they are heavily involved in the analysis and the study of Giorgio Bassani as a writer, but also as a writer for cinema. We also wrote an ebook, which is what is available also online, and it was submitted already. And the ebook contains all the research that was done by the experts and various reflections on the works of Bassani. One of the most interesting things that we discussed was
Isra, can I show you the book if you want?
we have it. We have already submitted it. Don't worry.
Okay.
Yes. So basically, we also analyzed Micòl, and we analyzed who is Micòl. In my opinion, in Marcel's opinion, she's somebody, but she's also nobody. To Giorgio Bassani, she is a collection of women that he met, but also she is a character who was utilized by the writer to depict a part of history, a portion of history. So during this Congress, we tried to understand and analyze also the creation of the garden, why Bassani chose Ferrara, because this garden did not really exist. So why Ferrara, how he decided that Micòl was going to be the character who she actually is, bearing in mind also the relationship that he had with cinema, with writing for cinema and the local scene, and also with local figures. So thank you. Thank you, Marcello. Thank you, everyone.
You're welcome.
Now, I would say that we have come to the end of the partner presentation. So I really want to thank all of you for the evaluation, for the reflection on the work that you did. I think that this project has so much potential also to be further developed in the future, seeing that we have tackled so many issues, we've been able to achieve so many results, but at the same time, more and more doors are open now for to explore these topics in the future. So thank you for your attention. I really hope you enjoy the screening of the short films, and hopefully I'll see you all soon. Thank you. Okay.
Bravi!